Welcome to Lifestyle Solopreneur, the community for entrepreneurs who put lifestyle first. Join your host Flavia Barris as she interviews successful lifestyle solopreneurs and shares ideas to help you find the perfect balance between lifestyle, business, and self. Flavia is an attorney, marketing expert, and founder of several online academies. She's been featured in major media including BBC World News, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Post, ESPN Television, and more. Join us for this episode of Lifestyle Solopreneur.
Hey, Lifestyle Solopreneurs. Today we have the absolute pleasure of speaking with Rita Farruggia. She is certified in Neuro-linguistic Programming, also known as NLP, hypnosis, and reiki. She is a lover of life and is the CEO and founder of happybeingwell.com with the mission of being the #1 self-care community in the world. Her mission is to awaken 1 billion people globally to their love while teaching them how to reprogram their subconscious, align with truth, universal laws, and create a daily self-care practice. Welcome to the show, Rita.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here and contribute to today's topic.
Well, I just absolutely love hearing about all the different things that you're doing and working on. I learned about NLP many years ago, but it's always been fascinating to me just what that is. Tell us a little bit about what you do day to day and what NLP is, what it means to you, and then also the hypnosis and Reiki, because there's people listening who may be hearing about NLP and Reiki for the very first time ever. I'm sure everyone knows what hypnosis is, but maybe not how it works in everyday life. You know, it's more than just like a entertainment show or a magician doing hypnosis. I mean, there's so much more there. So fill us in on that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So today I use NLP and hypnosis basically on myself to ensure I'm performing at my peak levels and sustaining a high energy level and a positive mindset to, maintain my performance. As we know, our day-to-day hustle or grind, is we live in a very busy society with a lot of noise around us due to technology, due to ever-growing demands due to technology, and also too with what's going on in the world, luckily that's taming down. So having tools such as neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis, it's basically knowing how to communicate and connect with yourself on a subconscious level. And that's important to know those tools and how to communicate with yourself at the subconscious, unconscious level, because the unconscious mind is the main driver of our behavior. So I utilize NLP, for example, to maybe remove a limiting belief. If I've acquired, if I have any bad habits, to install positive habits. And neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis are kind of similar because it does involve when you're using an NLP technique, it involves being in a relaxed state, being in a trance state, and there's visualization involved. So in a way, it's kind of like a guided meditation. So these forms are all similar. They have a lot of similarities. You go into trance state, you visualize a particular scenario. And with NLP, the difference is with neuro-linguistic programming, you're linking whatever, say it's a new habit you want to adopt. There's always an association. Maybe you're going to link it to the bad behavior, the bad habit that you want to eliminate. So you would link those two images together so that when you do tempted to commit the bad behavior, the bad habit, like say it's, eating excessive amounts of cake when you're stressed, then you're able to, once you visualize, I want to eat cake, boom, it's like, no, I don't want to eat cake. I want to be that person who's more healthy, has more vitality, more energy, an image that you would like to be and experience. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. And made me just a little bit hungry for cake. But I love that it's sort of like meditation with a specific goal in mind. A lot of people who are not into meditation or haven't tried it or been trained in it, and they know what it is. They kind of picture, okay, a person sits there, their eyes closed, looking like a yogi, but what is that and what's the utility? But it's great that you've taken meditation one step beyond what other people might do with it, because you've been trained in techniques to actually make your meditation sort of be useful and pay off in ways that go beyond just general well-being and relaxation. And I love that. I think that NLP is something that a lot of people misunderstand. I mean, they've heard of it, but I know a lot of people consider NLP to be a sales technique, almost like a way to persuade and convince somebody else to do something or think a certain way. But NLP, as you're explaining it, can be very introspective. It can be very self-guided. It can be a tool that somebody uses to better themselves. And that's fascinating. Do you find that there's a lot of miscommunication and understanding and maybe even some stereotyping out there? So when you say NLP, do you often have to explain what it is and also break some misconceptions?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. There's always misconceptions with everything. When people don't know something, there's always fear around it. And so I can see how people can think it's some kind of like manipulative tactic and such. But the reality of it is we are all manipulating ourselves and each other every day, whether you're aware of it or not. You know, if you're trying to convince your child to eat more vegetables, well, that's a form of manipulation, right? So everything is manipulated. You can manipulate a fork for good or bad. You can manipulate the fork to eat your food, or, you can manipulate the fork to use it as a weapon against somebody, right? So, everything can be construed bad or good. So with NLP, it is, I believe, and this is true for everything. There are techniques to further connect with yourself in a very productive manner, to be able to control your mind more in a way that, learning how to control both minds, like first starts with the unconscious mind, and therefore you can control your conscious mind more. And you're connecting with yourself more, meaning you're increasing your awareness levels of what's really going on with you. What are your triggers? What are your traumas? And traumas don't necessarily have to be something so horrific, like extreme acts of violence. They can be little things that maybe something your parent had said to you when you were maybe 4 or 10, and then you've adopted this limiting belief that, you're not good at math, or maybe your teacher said that when you were in, grade 10, or, it's something that it's just opening up who you are on a deep level, and just to look at your programming. And then once you start to really understand how our mind works, and therefore when that happens, you're able to connect with other people better because you understand their programming on a much deeper level, so that your compassion increases towards others, and you don't take whatever behavior that they've demonstrated on you, like if it's negative or if they're being critical based on their perspective that's jaded, and it's jaded because they're judging you based on their own personal past history. Like perhaps you have red hair, and maybe they were bullied by someone who had red hair in grade 6 or something. So therefore, unconsciously, they always attribute they don't like something people with red hair. So that's just a quick little example. So your awareness levels also increase when dealing with other people. So I think it's very positive, because then you're more aware of how people are processing information and what their personality styles is. So you can better communicate to their personality styles how they process information in a way that they will understand, and you'll be able to connect with them in a much deeper level as well.
How have you turned?
I can go on along. I have a passion for NLP. I just love inner psychology.
I know this is great stuff. So tell us, how did you turn your love of this area of sort of mental science and these skills that you have? How have you turned that into a business?
So like I said, I adopt this as a part of my day-to-day. Either it's, to motivate myself for my personal productivity levels, or if I'm communicating with somebody on a business, or even my marketing as well. It's literally a part of all areas of my life. I use NLP in. So I started my study in NLP while I was a digital marketer. So I've been in marketing for over 10 years. So in terms of my copywriting, my communication, and, you also learn in neuro-linguistic programming a certain sequence that people buy with, they need to see something or feel something, hear something. So learning how to incorporate all the senses in your communication and marketing communication as well. So it made me a much better marketer as well. So that's how I've adopted it in business as well, in my marketing skills.
And then tell us about happybeingwell.com.
Yeah, sure. So happybeingwell.com is a wellness e-commerce site that provides self-care products for women. And I launched it because self-care is a huge part of, my day-to-day life. Self-care for me is meditation, moving my body, either it's yoga or going to the gym or going for a walk, taking care of my skin, because that all just makes you feel better and you increases your self-worth. And when you feel better, you're more happier. Therefore, you have more energy. Your communication with others is much more pleasant, and you just get more results in life, period. It's just that simple. But when I'm as a consumer, prior to launching Happy Being Well, it was always a haphazard thing to find a product that is all organic, if it's a facial clay mask or if it's yoga leggings or a particular hair care product. So I figured, why don't I just curate everything into one place for somebody? If you want to get your yoga leggings and your sage and your crystals and your organic natural candle and your 100% organic facial clay mask, it's all in one place. And it's not just getting your products, it's also I'm going to be expanding the educational component as well on the site to further empower and inspire women to really expand their ways of self-care and taking care of themselves, and not just gear it to people that are already educated in this space on the benefits of really taking care of yourself and how that really improves the quality of your life. I want to empower other women who are not so much in the know about the benefits of that. So therefore, they really don't take the time or effort to really take care of themselves, or even know what products are out there that really make a difference.
And so for you, I know a lot of online entrepreneurs, online marketers, or people who have an e-commerce site end up becoming sort of married to their business, and they're just working, 20 hours a day, maybe sleeping 4, and it's just constantly on their mind. And for them, some of them are happy that way, but others are feeling kind of tied to their work and a little bit handcuffed by it. And then for you, your focus is on self-care. So I'm assuming that you're able to find a way to sort of balance your work life with self-care and leaving a little bit of space open in your calendar. Have you ever struggled with that, or has it always come naturally to you? And what are your tips and techniques that you can share with people on ways that they can maintain their own self-care in such a busy world?
Absolutely. It all comes down to systems. Also, prior to launching Happy Being Well, I was a digital marketer, a freelance digital marketer. So, this was not my first time being an entrepreneur. So I had an email list of past clients as well that I built up over the years that I leveraged when launching Happy Being Well as well. So, and I was I was a big networker all throughout my entrepreneurial journey as being a freelance digital marketer as well, not only online, but offline. And that, of course, added to my email list. And so the power of relationships, I'm always I really value quality relationships, developing relationships. And so everybody thinks that you need this huge, massive list or you need to be exposed to millions and millions of eyeballs to kind of to have success in your business. Well, I guess I'm not denying that wouldn't work, but if you really have a quality of a base of people that know you and you've served them before and you're developing those relationships, you don't need to have this huge, gigantic email list or, be in front of millions of people or whatever. It can just be literally just quality of your relationships. And also too, I know with digital with online businesses, it's content, 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 content. So I think a lot of people get stuck in doing, just content. And then it's not just content. You're also having to do other facets of your business. Like if you're a consultant or a coach, then you have to get on these sales calls and convert them. If you're e-commerce, there's other facets to it. There's, customer service, and there's email marketing and product management and product marketing. There's a lot to it. So what I do is I literally just schedule days where, one day I'm literally just writing articles, and then I'll schedule another day where I'm just literally having to write social media content. And I've been doing this for so long, right? As a digital marketer, that I've adopted that. It's really ingrained in me as a routine. But yeah, first when I started out, of course, anything you do that's brand new, you are going to be all over the place. That's just natural. And also, if you don't take care of your mindset, that is one thing that I'm so grateful with my neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis background, is I learned how to reprogram my unconscious mind, because that's one of the first things when I first started as a digital marketer, as a freelance, I was sabotaging myself. So why? Because it's like it's a completely different ballgame when you're an entrepreneur as opposed to just being an employee. You're not just performing a craft that you're also performing sales, and you're performing customer support. There's a lot of different departments or angles that you are taking care of. So definitely mindset. You have to take care of that. You have to get your mindset right. That's the first step if you're a brand new entrepreneur. And if you master that, moving forward, systems, like I mentioned, and also being the pro for me was I was a digital marketer. So I knew how, Instagram, the algorithm works, and the Facebook algorithm, and how to do market research is a big component to it. So this way I know how to test. I split test ads, split test content, what works best for my audience, and sticking to different themes. Like once you identify what themes of content works best in terms of the highest engagement, because when you start a social media channel and you're attracting people to your tribe or your social channels, it's always based on, okay, who are you attracting and who are you targeting? Some e-commerce sites may target pet owners, or some e-commerce site may target moms, right? So you have to just figure out who they are, what they like, get into their minds. And so once it's a fine tuning process, and then developing those habits around and scheduling around batching content. Batching content helps, because once you have it all scheduled out, you don't constantly have to think, oh, what am I going to write today? What am I going to write today? And blog articles, just having your blog articles on your site is really important. It helps with SEO, and it also helps develop a relationship with people just visiting your site, educating them on what the themes around what you're providing and the benefits of it, and the problem. Like, what is like if they don't have your particular service or product, then how is that a problem? Like, what are, so I think more people need to focus on, you see so many marketers focus on the benefits, which is great, but also too, you need to focus on, what is the problem? Like, like if they don't have your particular product or service, how is that a problem for them? And then, of course,
pain point marketing, right? Pain points. I mean, that's a lot of people don't even seek out a service or a product unless they have a pain point or a problem they're trying to fix. So they may not even come to you unless they have real strong motivation to do it. So I agree that you have to look at both things.
Absolutely. And also it's building your tribe, like building a community. So important, developing those relationships. The Facebook groups are really great for that. I think, again, another misconception is, you need to have thousands of people in your Facebook group. I actually, when I first built, I don't want just random people in my Facebook group. I want people that know, the brand and who have interest in the brand, right? So target those people who actually want or need your product, who would use your product or service. Don't just have random people in there just to have a big group, because they're not going to engage with your content, right? So quality over quantity, always.
Absolutely. And then for you, because you've got so many good systems in place, what's some favorite technology or software, something that you find helps you save time and be more efficient?
So when it comes to like the social media posting, since Instagram and Facebook, they are, they're owned by the same company. Facebook owns Instagram. So you can literally just batch your content on the mid panel of your Facebook page and it's connected to your business Instagram page. So I literally just use their tool. It probably helps with the algorithm as well. Like they probably prefer you using their publishing tool as opposed to a third-party tool. So I use for social, and for email marketing, I use Clivico. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And I'm writing a podcast now because I do feel it's valuable to provide further education around self-care, personal development, how to improve your life. And there's just so many subtopics around that, and having various experts speak to that. So that further builds quality to my community. And for that, I use Zoom and I use Candidly to schedule the interviews with my experts and record them to have it, publish it on my podcast. Those are some of the technology systems that come to mind, or software systems that I use.
Those are great. So tell us a little bit about what you've got going on right now. What is your current project or program, or what's your big sort of the goal on the whiteboard right now that you're working on these days?
Yeah, sure. So two things come to mind. One is in the future soon, there's going to be online yoga training that's going to be in addition to the site. So it's not going to just be products that are unique and organic, that have high value, that are affordable for self-care needs. It's also going to be where you can literally do yoga at home with a qualified yoga instructor. So that's coming up down the pike. And down the pike, I do want to have a directory too, to connect people if they do want to work one-on-one with a spiritual practitioner or a personal development practitioner or a yoga instructor. A lot of yoga instructors these days come to people's homes. So having a directory in place where someone can find someone in their own location. Video tutorials are coming up as well on how to utilize. So a lot of people are just learning about crystals and how they can amplify your meditation sessions, or even how they work in general. Like, why do people even use them, and how can you use them? And also how to use essential oils as well. So there's going to be a lot more video tutorials coming up down the pike as well on how to utilize and get the most benefit out of the products. And I just launched the podcast. So Happy Being Well podcast that customers or anybody can tune into and listen to experts giving their tips and strategies and their stories of their wellness journey. So those are things that come to mind that I'm currently just working on.
And then how does someone follow your journey and connect with you? What's the first place they should go to form a connection with what you're up to?
Yeah, sure. So on my Happy Being Well Instagram page, I am on there as well. I interview experts at times through Instagram Live interviews, and I do release videos doing some product reviews. So I am there as well. It's not just products. So I want to have that connection with my audience, so they can connect with me on Instagram, and I'm also on Clubhouse as well. I run a room every Thursday. It's called Mind Shift for Life Shift. That's the title of my club, and also the title of the room, every Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's another way to further build my tribe. I've met so many amazing women on Clubhouse, and we've formed strong relationships. They're now friends. The room has been amazing, speaking about a subtopic of personal development every Thursday. And I welcome speakers. I curate speakers to speak on the panel every Thursday as well in the room. They can speak, a lot of life coaches, spiritual practitioners, yoga instructors. I've had one amazing woman. She was on my podcast and she was also in the room. She developed her own transformational movement method, which, was very fascinating. And so she spoke on how that further activates your mind through activating your spine to further activate more concentration, more energy in you, and reverse the aging process. So I'm always meeting amazing women. So people can also connect with me on Clubhouse and Well, and they can contact me on Instagram at Happy Being Well if they want to be a speaker in the Clubhouse.
Awesome. Oh, and I love Clubhouse too. It is such a great way to connect with so many interesting people. So as we wrap up today, leave us with one sort of piece of advice. And I would ask you to pick a low-hanging fruit, something that somebody can do this week that's easy, actionable, and is going to help them increase their well-being and happiness, and that often maybe people overlook, but it's something that you're aware of and you're able to kind of give that little tip to people just to help them this week. So what can we do? What can I do this week to be a happier, more well person?
And something that's really easy, I would say, and even when I was in the corporate world, working in corporate world, I noticed not a lot of women, they don't invest in taking long, luxurious baths. And that is one thing that I discovered, along working hard, whether it was corporate or for myself, is taking time at least once a week to take a nice, long, luxurious bath, because it automatically relaxes your nervous system. And, especially when we're busy, work, there's always stress around work. And I would realistically, I would suggest taking one literally every night before bed, because especially as you get older, the quality of our sleep gets affected, because as we get older, the elasticity around our mouth gets more lazier. So a lot of people may not close their mouths when they're sleeping. And so you're not going to go into a deep REM. But if you really take the time to really relax your body, like I think everybody's experiences after a long hot bath, you have the best sleep ever, because you're going into that deep REM and you're waking up fully refreshed. And also what I do while I'm in a bath, that's when I do my meditations. I do a guided meditation or a quiet meditation, depending upon what I need for me. And I light my candles. I burn sage. I like sage. You can also just, have your essential oil diffuser going. If you don't, that's not your thing. For me, sage, it helps increase my concentration to make my meditation session better. And I love the smell of it, and it increases your intuition, which not a lot of people know. And I have my crystals. I put crystals in the bath as well, and bubble bath and bath oils and bath bombs to further amplify, and Epsom salt too, to further amplify relaxing my muscles. I do put those ingredients into the bath as well. So that's
I love that advice.
Yeah. One thing that I would share, it's easy, quick, and it feels amazing. And it really, truly does improve the quality of your life. And your skin looks more amazing afterwards because it's more moist and glowing. So you're looking better and more youthful, and combined with the amazing sleep that you get afterwards.
Well, who can turn that down? I mean, come on, everyone. Every single person listening has 20 or 30 minutes this week to try this out, preferably before bedtime. And yeah, go crazy with the bath bombs and the crystals and some sort of scented oil that just really will make that a special time for you, with you, where you can meditate and just have some time to de-stress. I love it. Well, thank you, Rita. You are an amazing resource. And I think you've inspired everybody to take a little bit better care of themselves, starting this minute. From when you hear this podcast episode, let's all make it a point to follow Rita's advice and be there for ourselves. Visit her at happybeingwell.com. She also has her podcast and a lot of different things going on. You can check her out on Instagram. You can connect with her on Clubhouse and follow her there. Rita, it has been such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Flavia. I'm very grateful to be here and contribute to your audience. Thank you.
Guess what, lifestyle solopreneurs? If you don't yet have an online business earning you enough passive income to live the life of your dreams, I'd like to suggest you consider trying out Kajabi. Kajabi is an all-in-one solution where you can create and teach online courses, publish a paid newsletter, launch a free or paid podcast, process payments, build one-on-one coaching portals for your clients, and much, much more. I personally use Kajabi to power numerous successful and profitable online businesses. Lifestyle solopreneurs, there's a free trial of Kajabi waiting for you at this link, www.kfreetrial.com. You can try Kajabi for free, no obligation, by going to www.kfreetrial.com. Again, kfreetrial.com, and that K stands for Kajabi. Starting an online business helped me break free from that corporate grind, and I hope it does the same for you. You have nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to the show, and see you next time.